Cincinnati Reds tonight. Leading off is Barry Larkin at shortstop. Batting second, Cal Daniels in left field. Chris Sabo bats third and plays third base. Paul O'Neill is in right field batting fourth. Eric Davis in center field batting fifth. Nick Osaski plays first base, bats sixth. Bo Diaz works behind the plate batting seventh. Jeff Treadway is the second baseman batting eighth. And the pitcher, Jose Rio. Defensively for the Montreal Expos, it's Tim Raines, Otis Nixon, Hubie Brooks in the outfield, Tim Wallach, Luis Rivera, Tom Foley, Andres Galarraga in the infield. Nelson Santovina is the catcher. And a news bulletin, John Dobson is not 6'10". He's the pitcher on the mound today. They have a 6'10" left-hander, Randy Johnson. I keep thinking with a kid named Dobson, he should be tall. I don't know what it is.
Well, he is tall. He's 6'4". Now, let's give him credit.
2-5 record, and he has pitched well for the Expos. 3.09 ERA, and you can expect just about the standard stuff from Dobson. He's not a strikeout pitcher, has pretty good control.
He has struck out 44, walked 25, a native of Baltimore, Maryland, and he went to school at Hanover, Pennsylvania. Ready to go to Barry Larkin, and we hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are. The first pitch outside for a ball. Santovina doing the catching. Larkin 294 the average, 36 RBIs, 10 home runs. Barry 0 for 4 here last night. And another one low. The plate umpire tonight is the crew chief, John Kibler, the veteran umpire. There's Kibler. Jim Quick is at first, Dave Pallone at second, and Eric Gregg is at third. The 2-0 pitch. Another one low. Dobson, as Johnny told you, 2-5 on the year. They say he has good movement on his fastball and an excellent change. He gets that one in there. 3 balls and 1 strike.
I hate 3-0 automatic strikes.
Well, you're entitled.
Well, a guy's got to throw a good pitch.
That's right. And it might be a good idea for the batter to be a little more aggressive. And strike, as Larkin was already about 5 feet down to first.
Well, the 3-0 pitch was down maybe just below the knees. This one down lower.
Well,
a late call by John Kibler, and he can't believe it. He can look back and see where he caught it. Santovina pulls it up, and he gets a called strike out of it.
So Dobson is full on Larkin. The Reds start tonight 42-46. And the walk to Larkin.
Well, you got to be careful not to leave too early on that kind of call. You certainly don't want to show up John Kibler.
This copyrighted telecast comes to you through the courtesy of Multimedia Broadcasting, authorized under TV rights granted by the Reds solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Reds is prohibited. The announcers on the telecast employed by Multimedia Broadcasting with the approval of the Reds. Larkin has stolen 25. Here's Daniels. Fouling it out of play off to the left side. Cal batting 292.
Cal had an interesting statement. He felt disappointed that he did not have a better first half, that he did not make the All-Star team, and because of that, he said he's going to make sure he makes the All-Star team at the end of the year.
Throw over to first, and Larkin is back. Daniels has batted 300 in his last 12 games. Cal 0 for 3 last night. A 1-run victory in 10 innings for Montreal last evening. It was a toughie. There goes Larkin, and he is there.
Good jump. Excellent job by Barry Larkin, and Dobson a little slow towards the plate. Has a swing move to first on the pickoff, but he certainly is a little slow. Barry kind of going up as he starts to run. The mask falling off, the head first slide. Larkin there in plenty of time.
Santovina's done a good job of throwing out runners, but he couldn't get Larkin. That's the 120th stolen base this year for the Reds. Now an 0-2 pitch for Daniels. And a foul tip at the plate, and Santovina couldn't hold on. Santovenia started 32 games this year, and the Expos are 21-11. And he has thrown out 13 of 40 base runners now. They've tried to steal. Just outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful day here in the Quebec City today. Dobson, his first career start against Cincinnati. Tom Browning and Dennis Martinez tomorrow night. We'll televise for you. And Daniels strikes out and looks bad.
Pretty good off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dobson in command of all of these pitches, and looks like he'll use them at any time, and it's very important for a pitcher to get ahead in the count. Curveball, and it's an off-speed downer. It was a good game this afternoon in Boston and Kansas City. It was Roger Clemens, the Cy Young Award winner in '86 and '87, going against Brett Saberhagen, the '85 Cy Young Award winner, and it was Clemens winning 3-1 with the Red Sox.
Sabo batting .311. 9-game hitting streak on the line here tonight, and that's just inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The Dodgers continue on their merry way. They won their 51st game of the year today, 3-2, 10 innings, the final. Winning pitcher was Alejandro Pena in that one. Nipper the loser. Orozco got a save. 1 ball and 1 strike. Game-winning RBI to Tracy Woodson in that one. They had 32,000 on hand for the action. And Woodson's 2-out single scored Dave Anderson from second base with a go-ahead run. Sabo hits it to short. Rivera holds the runner, throws on, and Galarraga, who can do some dancing around that bag, did a good job of handling that throw to his right and making the play.
Well, a lot of things happening after the All-Star break. Trades, of course, here in Montreal. Dave Martinez, the newest acquired Expo from the Cubs, will not be here until Sunday. He has planned a party on Saturday. I believe it's for his wedding, and he had planned, and he was given permission to stay there. He will be here Sunday. And the Phillies, Lee Thomas starting to get in the groove here. They traded Louis Aguayo today, and they've placed Von Hayes on the 60-day disabled list and Bob Grenier on the 21-day disabled list.
And they made a couple of changes along the coaching area. Dave Bristol's out of a job. Huh?
Dave Bristol and Del Unser.
1 strike to O'Neill, batting .251. All went 1 for 4 last night. With that win this afternoon, Los Angeles goes 9.5 games ahead of the Reds. The longest winning streak in the majors right now belongs to these Montreal Expos. They have won 8 in a row. The Reds have won 8 of their last 12. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right side. Foley throws on to Galarraga. Larkin is stranded. No score after half an inning.
Leading off for the Montreal Expos is Otis Nixon in center field. He's followed by Tim Raines in left field. Andres Galarraga is the first baseman, batting third. Hubie Brooks bats fourth and plays right field. Tim Wallach is at third base, batting fifth. The former Cincinnati Red, Tom Foley, plays second base tonight. He's followed by Nelson Santovenia behind the plate. Luis Rivera is the shortstop, and John Dobson does the pitching. Defensively for the Reds, Cal Daniels, Eric Davis, and Paul O'Neill in the outfield. Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, Jeff Treadway, Nick Osaski, and Bo Diaz. And the pitcher with a record of 9-4. And the loser last time out, he lost 1-0. Jose Rios, 16-year-old kid who dropped out of 9th grade and started playing pro ball, and for the first 2 years in pro ball he cried about every day. He wanted to go home, and he's done well. Now a lot of people are crying, and most of them are National League hitters.
The big guy from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic, ready to come into Otis Nixon. Nixon fouls it out of play off to the left side. Otis Nixon, a switch hitter. Hey, pretty good play over there, huh?
Well, that's the wrong place. It bounced up.
Did it? Oh, did it
He
bounce
booted it,
up?
yeah.
Oh, okay. It looked like he was taking credit for a good catch. Nixon, count of 0-2. Nixon batting .227. He's stolen 18 bases in the 21 games that he's played in. He went 0 for 4 last night. Slapped out to Larkin. Berry throwing and making the play in time. Nixon can move.
He can move, and it was an interesting statistic. He has 100 hits in his career, and he scored 104 runs.
Don't find that statistic very often, do you? Montreal 46-41. There's Tim Raines. Raines 277 the average, the switch hitter. Led the National League in steals back in the 81 through 84 seasons. The Rock, they call him. High, ball one.
That game down in Boston, Jay, Roger Clemens struck out 16. He had 8 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. Struck out the side in the ninth complete game.
That's out of play off to the right side. Boston, with that win, is now 44-42. They move within 8 games of Detroit. Kansas City drops to 46-42, 7.5 back of Oakland. And a high chopper, Larkin, and he can't make the play. It's a base hit for Raines.
Talk about Nixon's speed. Of course, Tim Raines, the premier stolen base leader over the past few years in the National League, and you could see just that transition so tough. Hop, the judge, just couldn't transfer quick enough.
The ball was tough to transfer because it was a snow cone for him. It was right in the top of the glove, you know. Now time is called as Raines is.
Well, he's getting a little extra time for his glove, but you know, he was out for a little while with that hamstring.
That's right, he was.
He really exerted himself the last couple of strides.
Bobby Winkle's coaching at first base there, wearing the number 1. Buck Rogers has Jackie Moore coaching at third. This is Galarraga, the big cat and the big man for this club. One of the best in the business these days. Double play ball, and they mess it up. Out at second. Raines is out. Galarraga reaches on what looked like a tailor-made double play ball.
Take a look at this play, and for Treadway, quite a long ways to shovel it that way, and didn't have much speed on it. I don't think Barry ever got it deep in his glove. And as a result, again, the problem transferring. Not easy to do on either play.
Hubie Brooks bats in the cleanup spot. Brooks this year hitting .400 against the Reds, .274 on the year with 55 RBIs, 10 home runs, a strike to him. He's hit .326, has Hubie, in his last 46 at bats. Missed much of the first half of last season with a wrist injury. Of course, they've made the move and committed to the move to the outfield for Brooks. Slashed upstairs off to the right side.
He tapes those wrists, Jay, both of them. You know, he just got such an unbelievable turn with those hands. He strides into the ball, and he really uses those hands to turn over more so than his hips.
Fouled that away. This Montreal club at home this year is 25-18, and they're 25-19 against the West. Last year, these two teams played even up, each winning 6 games. And another foul. Montreal leading the '88 series 3-2. They're 2-1 here and 1-1 at Cincinnati.
Let's look at the swing of Hubie Brooks. Actually, it was a thumb that gave him problems, and you can see why it might. Watch how he really see the great extension that he has, but he puts all the pressure on those hands at that point.
Drives his body out there, doesn't it?
Yes, he really does, and he's got such a quick bat.
And that's foul off to the right side. Tim Wallach is on deck. Jose Rio on the hill trying to win number 10 tonight.
That would be a career high.
That's right. Of course, his father-in-law is Hall of Famer Juan Marichal. He won 9 at Oakland in '86 with Rio. Two and two. Rio peering into Bo Diaz. And a high hard one, and he strikes him out. And after one, no score. Scoreless game, early going, and the Duke shows up to say hello. Nice to see you, boy.
Yes, sir. Duke Snider, white shoes and all, headed back to the West Coast. Oh, what a player he was.
Yes, sir. Eric Davis starts it off here in the second inning. Good curveball, caught the outside corner. The Expos starting staff has tossed a total of 15 straight quality starts. And that means 6 or more innings with 3 earned runs or less. They've done that since June the 25th. First base umpire Jim Quick, who missed a call at second base last night, asked for the appeal. 1 ball and 1 strike. Willingham was safe last night when he tried to steal second, but Quick didn't see it that way. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Called it a little quick, I thought.
Quick Jim. Off to the right side, out of play. The Expos have the 3rd best team ERA in baseball right now, 3.16 behind the Mets at 3.08. The Dodgers at 3.15. John Dobson comes in, and this one is into center field. Nixon going back. He's going to get it. 1 gone. Nixon can cover some ground. This good outfield they have here with Raines and Nixon and Brooks. Of course, Martinez coming over. Saski's batting .251. Off the corner. Here in this second inning, he's been opening, at least he did with Davis and Saski, with a curve on the outside corner to each other. Fastball on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
Well, the Reds certainly have seen a lot of pitches from Dobson in these first 2 innings. Give them a better idea the next time they go up there. Every hitter has seen at least 2 to 3 pitches, and that's got to help.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Getting ready to start that second game at Boston. Kansas City will have Charlie Leibrandt going. Mike Smithson gets the call for Boston. The new manager, Joe Morgan. And strikeout number 2. Saski goes down. And there are 2 gone for Bo Diaz. At Pittsburgh, a single by Kevin Mitchell has scored Robbie Thompson and Mike Aldretti. 2 runs are in. There's a man on first and 2 out as San Francisco has gotten 2 in the top of the first, and they're still batting. New York, Yankees leading 1-0 at New York. Wild pitch by McDowell allowed Henderson to score. 1 ball, no strikes. down the left side, foul. 3:25 to the lines here. 3:75 to the alleys, and 4:04 to center field. Diaz 1 for 3 last night. And a little bloop into center will be handled by Nixon. Oh, just stuck out the bat, tried to knock it over second. He hit it a little too good. No score after an inning and a half.
Oxidol and Dawn detergents have combined with the Reds to put together a special day that's especially for the ladies. It's Umbrella Day on Saturday, July 23rd, when the Reds host the Expos at 2:15. A free Reds umbrella will be given to the first 15,000 ladies in attendance, 16 and over. So don't forget, Saturday, July 23rd, it's Reds and the Expos Umbrella Day, thanks to the folks at Oxidol and Dawn detergents.
First pitch out of play. He's batting .266. He's hit 12 of his last 15 games. Rio comes in with another. Wallach can't catch up with it. It's a nice gift, that bumbershoot. That's what my grandmother used to call an umbrella, a bumbershoot.
A bumbershoot?
A bumbershoot. I don't know whether that's an old German extraction or what, but she always called her umbrella my bumbershoot. O'Neill coming over, and he makes the play in foul ground. So Wallach is the first out here in the second inning. There's Yuppie, the Montreal Expo mascot. Entertaining. Does a nice job, this fella. Foley batting .261. He's hit .364 since June the 23rd. He's been on quite a hot streak. And this will play for Asaski, and they're 2 gone. Let's pause right now for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds television network.
Your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, WLWT.
With Johnny Bench, Jay Randolph. Olympic Stadium, Montreal. Nelson Santovina, who went 1 for 4 last night. The young catcher batting .243, facing Rio. Santovina, closed stance as he steps in there. Reed, of course, now the property of the Reds. This fellow will be doing more and more of the catching. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a foul back right below our broadcast position.
Santovina was born in Cuba. Before getting to Miami, and of course playing down there for Ron Frazier. Obtained a degree in recreation.
And he's out of there. And that will do it. They're down 1-2-3. Second strikeout for Rio. No score after 2. No score after 2. You know, we talk about superstitions in the world of sport. Superstitious folks. Now watch Raines here, Johnny. He's going out there by second base before he goes to the outfield. He does this, takes the throw from the shortstop Rivera, throws on to first, touches second, and then goes to his outfield position. He does that every time.
Every inning. Well, he likes to keep involved. You know, you get out to the outfield and you throw a little bit. Sometimes you don't get enough throwing in, especially with the ball girls that sit along the side of the stands. The outfielders have to take turns throwing to one of them.
Treadway leading it off in the third, takes a strike from John Dobson. At Pittsburgh, you mentioned that San Francisco got 2 in their half of the first. Barry Bonds has hit a solo homer in the first. It's 2-1.
It's the 5th time he's done that this season, the 13th time in his career. Of course, his
Houston.
father holds the record. I think he's one ahead of Ricky Henderson.
Pascual Perez. Toiled here. Oh, your arm hurt? No dirt on that uniform tonight. He cleaned up pretty good. Treadway into left. Raines comes on. Houston's at Philadelphia. They're just underway. No score after an inning. Yankees leading Chicago 2-0 after an inning. And Atlanta has a 1-0 lead over New York. Down in Atlanta.
Got a run without a hit.
Yeah, I think
New York committed the error.
I had a note on that. Gary Carter allowing Gerald Perry to score on a pass ball.
Chattanooga's winning tonight. Nashville rained out. Chattanooga up 9-2.
Rio is 0 for 17. That's a strike. Look at Jose. He's spun around like a top trying to catch up with that one.
Thinks he's hitting seriously, being in the American League with all the DL. Of course, he's never had many chances. You would think he would go down in winter time and get a few cuts in, but he really needs some serious work, especially on the curveball.
Strikeout number 3. And back to the top of the order to Larkin. John, you need to work with him on his hitting.
No, he's got plenty of help down there. Tony can handle it.
Tony can handle it.
I think Tony spent a lot of time with Jose.
Larkin walked, stole his 26th base of the season in the first, and was stranded at second. He's the only base runner that the Reds have had since then. John Dobson has retired 8 in a row. A strike at the knees. To the right side, and Foley comes up with it. Reds are gone quickly. 2.5 innings are played. Zeros. The Jailhouse Rock, and Yuppie is putting on a show here between innings. He's been cast into outer darkness.
Back to the rock pile. I had these fans jumping and moving though.
Jailhouse Rock. Here's the man who did the damage last night, Luis Rivera, batting at .230, 23 RBIs. Rivera with his shot into right center that Davis couldn't catch up to in the 10th inning last night. It scored Rex Hudler. And the throw high, and the tag made nicely by Asaski. 1 out.
Fortunately for Nick, the ball was down the first base line. Barry with plenty of time, and he said, like he says sometimes, just lets it get away from him. Nick has to extend, and it happens to be in the line, the pirouette, the tag, and 1 gone here in the 3rd inning.
John Dobson has a batting average of 91. No RBIs. Dobson, like Jack Armstrong, who will pitch here on Sunday, is a tremendously dedicated worker, physical fitness buff. There's one on the outside corner. He also plays a pretty good guitar, they tell me. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Rio gets his 3rd strikeout. Martinez to pitch tomorrow for the Montreal Expos. He'll be opposed by Tom Browning. We'll televise that one for you. Sunday, no television. It'll be Armstrong against Brian Holman. Then the Reds come home for a series before they go out to Atlanta, and we'll televise 2 from the Georgia Capitol for you. I guess it'll be very interesting down there next week with the Democratic National Convention. No balls and 1 strike.
Looks as though we will join the broadcast.
We've got a doubleheader.
Game in progress.
Yes. Right.
We'll start broadcasting at 8 o'clock, I understand. Usually our normal time around 7:40 down there, but we will go on at 8 o'clock, and we may have some action.
Maybe we'll get the last couple of innings of that first game of the doubleheader.
I don't think it'll show on there because this is a makeup after
No, well,
the rain
that's
out.
the 26th, though. And then we'll televise on the 27th.
That's a 7:40 start.
Yep.
We will come on the air, what, 7:30?
7:30. And then, of course, we'll be going on to San Diego after that for telecasts on the 29th and 30th, and a game from L.A. for you on August the 2nd.
That is a change.
Yeah. We've added that game on the 2nd and deleted a game on the
31st, is it?
Sunday, the 31st.
And that was just done today, so we're going to bring that broadcast to you from L.A. on Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll have made up some ground on the Dodgers, but they're certainly not backing off.
Treadway's charging, and they're out 1, 2, 3. After 3. 0-0. No score. We move into the 4th inning. The Reds have gone 13 innings since the All-Star break without scoring a run. Let's get off the Schneider here.
Yeah, if you tuned in, this is not a replay of last night.
Let's hope not.
We're about ready to this inning, though.
Daniels struck out in the first and swings and misses.
Put an ice cream sundae on it.
Ice cream sundae. I'm trying to cut down a little.
Well, I know that's the only thing that'll get you to bet.
That's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, we're talking about the doubleheader on the 29th, and we'll hopefully be able to join that first game toward the end of it. We'll be on the air at 8 on the 29th from Atlanta. And during the break between the 2 games, we hope to be able to answer some of your viewer mail. So if you'd like
worked
to
well
write us,
last time.
it worked very well up in Chicago. We had a lot of wonderful letters from you. So if you'd like to write, Ask Johnny and Jay at 140 West 9th, Cincinnati, Ohio, as Davis strikes out for the 2nd time, and that's the 4th strikeout for Dobson. You can write to Ask Johnny and Jay, 140 West 9th, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. We really enjoyed that session we had in Chicago and appreciated all the letters we had from you, and thought you might enjoy doing it again. And at this point in the season, you might have some new questions, new thoughts, so take pen in hand if you like. Sabo hits it into center field, and that hitting streak now is at 10.
Longest in the National League at this point.
Sabo has stolen 28 bases. He wants to do a little running against Santovenia.
Says it's his favorite thing, running and sliding, stealing and sliding.
O'Neill looking down to Bruce Kim. O'Neill 1 for 4 here last night. Grounded out in the first, as you saw. Throw over.
It's interesting to watch Sabo as he gets his lead. He really shuffles his feet. He doesn't cross over too much as he gets away from the bag. Just making sure he doesn't cross over, get on the wrong foot. Looks very easy to read John Dobson's move. He really moves that hip and a lot of body before he even starts to go to first.
A pitch out.
Ooh. It was interesting. Chris had the lean on, and Dobson had already committed himself to the pitch out. Chris with a little bit bigger lead that time as he got a foot out on the carpet. about 6 or 8 inches. See if he'll extend that. He's trying to read him.
Another pitch out. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, that's good news for Paul O'Neill. 2-0, and of course a dead fastball hitter.
Buck Rogers, the Ohio native, went to school at Ohio University. The runner goes, and Sabo asking Dave Pallone about it.
Well, I don't know if he had an argument or not.
I don't know if he had an argument or not. We couldn't. He's sure jawing as he comes out. Here it is, John.
Well, this is a great throw by Santavina.
It sure is. Well,
I can see why he's arguing.
Well, you can't really tell from that angle as
the throw there in plenty of time, it looked like, but Rivera really laying down the tag late. We may not catch it from this angle.
This
even
would be our best chance, though. Yeah, I think you got him.
I think he's there.
Yeah. Well,
2 out of 3.
Not often you and I argue, but I think that might have been a good call. I certainly didn't agree with the call last night. Larry Starr there sitting to the right. 3 balls and 1 strike, and this one gets through. O'Neill with the second hit of the inning. Eric Davis. Davis now 0 for 5 in the series after flying to center field in the second.
Dobson will hang that breaking ball right here.
Crowd sitting very quietly, swinging a miss. Pretty good curveball this fella possesses, Johnny.
Really is, and the hitters, you know, even the ones that he's hung out over the middle of the plate, it's got a continuation on the bite. That means he's got good arm rotation downward. Gets that ball continually breaking and not just stopping in the hitting zone. And he makes fastball pitches like that. Really sets up that curveball.
And he's out in front 0-2 on Eric. Dobson opened last year on the disabled list, recovering from arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder. Runner goes. The throw not in time. Second stolen base of the season for O'Neill. And he is in scoring position with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes to Davis.
Kind of concentrated on Davis, not on O'Neill, and the throw not nearly around the bag for Foley.
That's really the only bad throw we've seen Santavina make.
Well, you get geared up for the base stealers. You don't think O'Neill will be running.
That's right. Just outside, 2-2.
Ball gets thrown out. Naturally, it'd be Eric leading off the inning. You can take a chance with an 0-2 count.
Chopper that is handled by the third baseman, who drops it. Well, he might have been bothered a little bit by O'Neill.
Paul almost got himself tagged out. It's a base hit for Eric. It's a timing play as far as Wallach and O'Neill were concerned. Big high chopper, and Wallach's got to wait. Started to think about tagging, and when he did, he had to reach into his glove a second time. That time it was too late.
So now it is runners at the corners. O'Neill at third and Davis at first. 2 gone for Asaski, who struck out in the second. Tough break having Sabo thrown out on that steal, but maybe the Reds can get something on the board anyway here. They've had the opportunity.
Be impressed with Dobson. Last time out, of course, he went 8 2/3 innings. giving up those 14 hits. The announcer for the Dave Van Horn said that he worked so hard. And he talked about him being in good shape. It has to help him.
And the stolen base to Davis. It was uncontested. Davis gets his 20th stolen base. So now Osaski, a good solid single, could put the Reds up 2-0. Here's the 1-2. Just low, 2-2. Good eye. Osaski, 28 years old, a #1 draft pick back in '71. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2. 3-2.
This kid has an idea. He's worked the fastball inside, the breaking balls down and away. Now he tries to hit the outside corner of the fastball. And that was a very good pitch. Tough to lay off of that pitch. Tougher to hit.
Strikes him out. That is the 5th strikeout for John Dobson. The Reds strand a pair. Still no score.
Today's game is brought to you in part by General Tire. Get on your Generals and go. And by Lens Crafters. Quality eyeglasses in about an hour.
You're watching Reds baseball on the Cincinnati Reds television network.
There's John Dobson on the right. Bryn Smith, the bearded one, and Dobson able to get through that inning with the Reds coming up with 3 hits and 2 stolen bases and still not able to get a run across.
Smart kid listening to the veteran Bryn Smith, and he's talking about the move to first, not telling him to make sure that he doesn't turn that shoulder to first base because that's a ball.
Bottom of the 4th, Raines to lead it off. He has the only Expo hit. It was of the infield variety back in the 1st inning. Into short left field, Larkin out, Daniels in, Daniels, 1 gone.
What a wild inning the 4th was first, Jay.
Yeah, I say 3 hits and 2 stolen bases, and you can't get one to get across there. It's got to be very frustrating, especially when you haven't scored in 14 innings. It's the All-Star break. Galarraga reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st. It's in the dirt. He's now 28 years old. From Caracas, Venezuela. He's having an MVP kind of year here. Signed when he was only 17 years of age on the recommendation of a fellow who was quite a player, Philippe Alou. At the letters, a strike, 2-1. The last couple of years, we've seen Galarraga develop more power off to the right side. 2-2 to the Cat. The Gran Gato, as he is called. And there he goes, and that's strikeout number 4 for Rio.
Galarraga struck out 86 times this year. Of the 236 outs that he has, of course 86 have been strikeouts. If he'd made contact, and outside of that, outside of the strikeouts, he'd be hitting .442. When he makes contact, he's something else.
Hubie Brooks struck out to end the 1st inning. Larkin in time. Down 1-2-3. After 4, 0-0.
Well, it's umbrella night on the night. Look at the score. The Red Expos are scoreless as we're here in the 5th inning. And you want to make sure that you're around when the Reds play the Expos at 7:35. Thousands of dollars
Free
worth
groceries.
of groceries.
Free
That's right.
groceries.
I thought you'd pick up on this one. I should let you do this. They'll be given away. Plus, one lucky fan will win a $10,000 gift certificate towards a car from Marge Schott Chevrolet. It seemed like $10,000 would buy a car. Here's a Reds special date that allows loads of fans to win free groceries. Treat the whole family to Reds baseball, free groceries, and lots of fun. Kroger Grocery Night, Friday, July 22nd, when the Reds face the Expos at 7:35. Postcard entries are accepted, and thanks to Kroger for helping me out on my golf tournament.
Oh, they're great people there, aren't they?
Sure are.
Bo Diaz fly to center in the 2nd. Leading it off, 5th inning, scoreless game. And Rivera made 2 errors last night, but got the winning hit. Throws out Diaz. Now there's Pascual Perez. He's got pitching all squared away, so now he's going to learn to be a catcher. Look at that glove.
Having fun, isn't he?
Yes, sir. He just
Should. He leads the National League in ERA, 1.53.
Treadway fly to the left. In the 3rd. Jeff takes high for the ball. Into left field. Raines has it measured. 2 out. Well, Johnny, you finally got to see Bull Durham today. Time for you to do a movie review. Now, most everybody in the country has given it 3 or 4 stars, except Paul O'Neill, who didn't like it.
Well, I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it because that's the ballparks that I played in.
Well, that's right.
Ballpark
you
in
did.
Durham, and back in 1966.
Rio hits it on the ground, and Galarraga goes to first. And that's all for the Reds. After 4.5, it's still scoreless.
It's scoreless here in Montreal in the bottom of the 5th, and boy, next week's going to be a very busy week for all of you fans. Enjoy picking up things. 23rd is Oxidol Dawn and Umbrella Day for the ladies. 22nd, Kroger Grocery Night. And now my favorite, Senior Citizen Special Day, which is when the Reds play the Mets at 7:35. That's July the 19th. Super X Senior Citizen Special. Special ticket prices are in effect on box reserve seats for our veteran Reds fans 65 and older when purchased in advance of game day. Game day, that's July the 19th. The Reds and Mets, thanks to the folks at Super X Drugstore. Pick up a senior citizen. Take him to the ball game or her.
Wallach and Sabo in time. Wallach, who fouled out down the right side in the 2nd, is the first out here in the 5th. He's out 5-3. Let me correct something. I was talking about Buck Rogers earlier. Buck went to school at Ohio Wesleyan. I think I had him at the wrong university there for a moment.
It's all right. He wishes he'd gone to Miami of Ohio. Well, not just for the fact that
He's from Delaware.
No offense to Ohio Wesleyan.
A lot of great universities in the state of Ohio. Fine schools. Foley grounded out in the 2nd. In that 2nd game, Boston leading Kansas City 2-1 after an inning of play. Pittsburgh with 4 runs in the bottom of the 2nd, 5-2 now over San Francisco. San Francisco batting in the top of the 3rd. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Glenn Davis is at a home run in the 3rd, and Houston leads Philadelphia 4-2. That's Davis's 19th home run, a 3-run shot.
Puts him only 1 back of the lead. Atlanta leading 2-0. Fouled out of play.
Foley hit his 2 home runs of the year in the game. when one of his sons broke his leg, and he spent all day at the hospital and showed up at the ballpark. Basically, a hitting streak started about that time.
Another foul. Murray Cook and
very stylish. Warren Harding III.
Harding III.
Any friends down in Palm Bay, Florida?
Well, I hope so.
Hope we all do. WAYK, Channel 56, General Manager William Varecha, and Russ Brown is the sales manager. Glad you're with us.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Play.
Foley was an ambidextrous athlete, throwing right-handed as a shortstop, but he played quarterback and threw left-handed. Down in his days at Palmetto High School in Miami.
He was traded to Philadelphia in the Bo Diaz deal back in August of '85.
Well, he's one of the nicest kids you'll ever be around. He's really done a great job here. We kid each other about I pinch hit for him a couple of times, and he's always talking about how they gave him the ovation rather than me.
Into left field. Daniels is there. Foley had a very fine year here last year. He hit .293 in 106 games last season.
It's been his first 4 years of his life in Japan, or during his youth. I shouldn't say the first 4 years, as he was born in Miami. I think that Columbus, Georgia, he was born. He just grew up in Miami.
Nelson Santovina struck out in the second inning. He bats with nothing shaking. Strike one. Up here, Ottawa and Saskatchewan playing in Ottawa tonight. The game has just started. Can you believe that? Talk about the seasons overlapping. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul away. The Rough Riders of Ottawa and.
You want to guess Saskatchewan?
Well, let me think. I've got to think. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They're 2 Rough Riders. Oh boy, that must be interesting. Yeah, that's right. Oh, how'd they let them do that? Left field. Daniels going toward the line, makes the play in foul territory. 5 innings by the boards. Well, Johnny, I held them again tonight. Wow. No score. John will be along in just a minute. Well, here's our broadcast position. You have a better look at it than we do. It is tough to see from where we are. We've talked about it before. There are the names. Yes, Marty waved. He is alive. Yes, there he is. And I've now broadcast 11 innings here in 2 nights.
Oh, that's something to brag about.
There hasn't been a run scored. I don't know when that's happened last.
You're taking credit for the pitching, I guess, at least for our ball club.
Yep.
That's how far we are from
center field.
Center field as he pulls back. Actually, the center fielder is closer to home plate than we are. Seems like that anyway. If you can imagine seeing a ball game, as a lot of people you do, of course, from the middle portion of the red seats. That's just about where we are. Barry Larkin will lead off for the Reds tonight. Reds with 3 hits, all coming in the 4th inning. A couple of stolen bases and no runs scored. Barry walked and stole his 26th base in the 1st inning and then grounded to Foley in the 3rd. And another ground ball to Foley. Very smoothly and play to first. 1 out. Big ballpark. They talked about the dimensions. Of course, 325 down the line. A little shorter than most ballparks. It goes out very quickly at that point. It's a rounded area around the walls. It's very important that fielders get over there and cut that ball off. They can't be as aggressive going into the corners. You see the foul territory between the baselines and back towards the dugout, and especially behind home plate. We had a fan who wrote in saying, why aren't all ballparks the same? Talking to Scotty Breeden, Cal Daniels swings and misses. Cal 2 strikeouts on the night. Scotty said it's so important, shooting day, the fact that foul territory in some ballparks like Cincinnati is so close to the field that a lot of plays aren't made. And if you counted one foul ball that might go into the stands each game, that would be caught in a big ballpark. Here's a line shot in the left field. Base hit for Daniels. If you count one ball per game, 81 games, that's like having 3 shutouts. And over a period of a season, in 81 games, of course, just at home, you really find out that those pitching staffs that you have, like the Dodgers, have a lot of room, and that it would certainly improve on your statistics. And it's a very valid point.
What I was going to interject was, of course, this ballpark has many idiosyncrasies because it was built for the Olympic Stadium here. This is an unusual roof, a movable roof. There's play there. But this is the only ballpark in the National League that does not have bleachers.
What do you call bleachers?
I call bleachers out, in center field. It's the only.
There's some seats up there.
No, wait a minute. Those aren't bleachers.
I mean, you'd have to get a cab to get up there, to the right of that scoreboard. If you pan up right there, helicopter, that'd be it, wouldn't it? All inside.
But really, there are no bleachers. And of course, they're a very small section of bleachers at Shea Stadium in New York, but nevertheless.
Now, there they are, right there.
No,
nobody happens to be sitting in them tonight.
No, you never have bleachers in the upper deck.
Cal bluffs, and the pitch out doesn't work. Somebody must be picking up the signs from Buck Rogers, who's passing them on to Nelson Santovina. Sabo 1 for 2. He extended his hitting streak to 10 games, and he was caught stealing. 9th time he's been caught. He was caught last night on a pitch out. They have fooled them tonight. In fact, they pitched out twice on Sabo. He didn't run, and then on the straight one, he was thrown out. He had a little bit of beef with Dave Pallone. Very close play. It was a 50-50 call up here, so we'll leave it to a very qualified umpire.
Be careful now. Be careful.
Dobson, 6'4", 200-pounder, working to Sabo. Daniel stays, ground ball, and it's foul. Eric Gregg making the call. Ball girl there along the line. I talked about them earlier. They're the ones that's supposed to play catch with the outfielders. Now, of course, Tim Raines likes to loosen up a little bit in the infield, as is his superstition. On deck, it's Paul O'Neill. See Rock out in left field. Paul O'Neill, cleanup hitter for the Reds. Paul singled his last time up. Reds had 3 straight singles.
Wallach real deep at third. Might be an opportunity for Sabo to bunt his way out.
Well, when you got a guy who leads the league in doubles, you certainly want him to start hitting line drives the speed of Daniels.
I was watching him look down there at Kim.
Those bluffs and looked like it bothered Dobson, and the count goes 3-1 with one out.
Yeah.
Now Sabo looks down to Bruce Kim for a sign. You have to look down there every time. A lot of these base runners are on their own, but at the same time, it's so important. Hit and run might be put on.
This would be a good spot for the hit
and
and
if
run.
he says he definitely wants him to run or definitely doesn't want him to run, at least he can have a free swing at it. Here's a ball chopped over the mound. It's going to hurt. Foley makes the play. Well, that would have been a base hit in the center field. The base runner not been going. Sabo hustled. Foley for a second thought he was going to have a chance at getting Daniels and maybe turning a double play. Tough play for Foley, and he made it.
Here it is, right back through the box. And Foley, with the runner going, coming over, was able to make the play. Then he dropped the ball, picked it up, and still nipped him at first.
So a runner in scoring position.
Very close there at first base.
For Paul O'Neill. Dobson backs off, not sure of Santavinia's signs. Daniels waits at second. O'Neill with 35 RBIs. Eric Davis leads the Red with 45, and everybody basically in the middle 30s or upper 30s. Here's the fly ball into center field. Otis Nixon, Rangers back, makes the play, and the Expos are out of it. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Well, you see Donald Sutherland. He is a huge Montreal Expo fan.
Their #1 fan and also a tremendously talented actor. What a guy. He
Yes,
really is a
indeed.
great fellow.
Yes, indeed.
He has a son who's doing very well.
Yes, he is.
In the motion picture world these days also.
And this man on the mound is doing well tonight. Jose Rio has held the Expos to 1 hit. Last night, Danny Jackson with a brilliant effort. This fly ball by Rivera. A run for Daniels and Davis. Daniels. I rode with Donald on a plane to Detroit, where I was spending the night after a ball game we did up here. And we went out to a jazz place. All black jazz place. And boy, I tell you, I never enjoyed anything so much. A wonderful evening.
Well, he's a really talented gentleman. Mr. Donald Sutherland on hand here tonight, watching with you folks.
And he seems to be bored too.
Can't blame him. Johnny, I got to ask you, you know, there was one man before they put the roof on. Hit a ball out of this
Dave
park.
Kingman.
No, I'm going to show him to you. There he is.
Oh, he bungoed it out of here?
No, he's the only man ever to hit a ball out of this park. You think about it for a minute.
Strikeout, and that's strikeout number 5 for Jose Rio.
We're setting you up for this one.
I know you
Long
are.
ball.
I can understand it.
It was,
He took a 9-iron or a 4-wood.
It was, in fact, a golf ball. That's what it was.
And I would have had to see that one.
He did hit a golf ball.
The thing is that the roof is so close over here. I don't think you can do it in Riverfront Stadium.
I don't know. You stood at home plate there, but I would think maybe you could hit a 5-wood out of there.
7-wood. Maybe
7-wood.
7-wood. Treadway ranges, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rio. Quickly into the 7th. Stand up and stretch. Get some runs, folks. That's the top of the 7th inning.
We're laughing. We're laughing. We'll tell you what.
Oh, okay. I sent a cameraman over to tell Donald hello, and he said, "Who's bench?"
What does he need? 4 balls
he
sign?
needs 4 balls signed.
Yeah.
I saw him holding up 4 fingers. We'll take anything right now. Fastball downstairs. It's called a strike. Maybe we could do the game from the bleachers from here, Jade.
There's no bleachers. Remember
that's right.
We're getting punchy. I wish we could score some runs, I'll tell you that.
Fouled off. No balls and 2 strikes on the curveball.
What's going on here, folks?
I don't know. Let's talk about Charleston, West Virginia.
Lovely. The
Channel
capital.
11, WVAH.
On the Kanawha River. Yes, sir. Don Wilburn, Steve Rabb, and the local manager there, P.J. Ryle. WVAH, Channel 11, serving Charleston and Huntington, West Virginia. Huntington, the home of my great friend Bill Campbell, who I'm sure, because he is chairman of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club this year, is over at Royal Lytham and St. Anne, where the British Open is being contested this week. Nick Price has the lead by 1 over Seve Ballesteros. Greg Stadler in contention. 2 rounds to play over there.
Yeah, maybe Bam Bam will do good. Freddie Couples.
Bam Bam.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Buck Rogers trying to get Dobson to not get too far behind in the count to Eric. Eric on with an infield single his last time up.
It's been one of his keys. He has not been behind very many people in this game tonight.
And he's come back when he has been. You know,
right.
He's used that breaking ball.
Hasn't walked anybody.
Nick on deck. And he'll be followed by Bo Diaz.
Excuse me, he did walk Larkin, didn't he, to start the game?
Walked him to start the game, and since that time he fell behind 2-0 to O'Neill. Sabo tried to steal. He was thrown out, and O'Neill singled and Davis singled. Nick struck out the end of the inning. Oh, that was the breaking ball I was looking for, and Eric didn't get it.
Eric wasn't looking for it, I guess.
Yeah, he was looking for it. He just missed it. That breaking ball keeps going, and for Dobson, that's strikeout number 6.
Yeah, we talked about this fellow's breaking ball earlier. Now watch it. And Johnny, you're talking about it keeps going. It really continues on, and I've been very impressed with his breaking ball. And they say, although he doesn't have a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, it does have a lot of movement on it.
Well, the Jugs gun, of course, is not always right on without a pitcher's stuff. Let me tell you that Rio may be throwing harder, but this man has just been almost as it has been effective throughout the evening.
Rio has struck out 5. Dobson now 6. The Reds have 4 hits. The Expos have 1.
Yeah, Rio walked 6 his last time out and struck out 6. He's not walked anybody. Swing and a miss and a curve ball again. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bring you up to date a little bit. San Diego and St. Louis are scoreless after 1. Houston leads Philadelphia 4-2. A big 3-run homer by Glenn Davis. Well, the Yankees have awakened a little bit. They're up 4-0, but they had to go extra innings. High chopper, tough play for Rivera. He makes it. Whoa! Put a star on it.
Well, that's a play he tried to make last night and didn't. Did a nice job there. Remember last night we talked about him not staying in front of the ball, and he took a swipe at it. Well, watch what he does with this one. He's running, and again, takes that swipe. Doesn't keep the ball in front of him or try to make sure he stays in front of it. And he made this one look easy. Boy, quite a play by Rivera. A little chancy the way he played it, I think, but when it works.
Well, the great thing about AstroTurf, the hop is going to be pretty consistent. Of course, you practice a lot of that infield. Luis Rivera. First pitch low to Bo. Bo was 0 for 2. Fly ball on the ground out. Did he check his swing? Yes, said John Kibler. San Francisco trails Pittsburgh 5-3. They picked up a run on the 3rd. Strike call. Billy Ripken singled and scored Larry Sheets, and that's the only run of the game so far for the Orioles. It's 4-1 in the bottom of the 2nd. And Boston leads Kansas City 3-1. That's in the 3rd inning of the 2nd game. Ground ball, and there's that tough hop. There's that quick hop over at 3rd. It can really be beat down. Gets by Wallach, and we'll see how they score it. It's going to be scored a hit. That's overspin right there, Jay.
It really almost took the glove off.
Show that again, guys. When it takes that second overspin.
They're going to call it an error, Johnny.
They are. Well, it looked like an error, but at the same time, they were flashing hit on the scoreboard.
They've changed their mind.
Treacherous third base.
You talked about that last night here. It's a tough third play here. Now, people at home are going to say, well, what is different third base here than
the fiber? The thickness of the fiber, the base underneath it. A lot of people have a different thickness. They have a different cushion they put underneath it. This is a hard surface, a quick surface. You can tell how shiny it is compared to Riverfront Stadium. Because of the plushness of that carpet, it's hard to beat that fiber down. Treadway is 0 for 2. Both fly balls to Tim Raines. Look at some of the thickness of it, and of course that's the base from the rubberized surface around it, but see how it's sort of dark underneath there, and the fiber not very thick.
Not as thick as the new stuff they're putting down there. Is it AstroTurf 10, something like that?
You're the expert on that part of it.
Well, it used to be, because AstroTurf was made by Monsanto, but they sold their entire AstroTurf operation to a company in Europe.
Ball and 2 strikes. And here's a base hit into right field. Bo will be able to go to 3rd. I don't know if he can score on this or not. Yes, he's going to be waved in. And Brooks can't handle the ball. Bo's going to be safe. The Reds are going to lead it 1-0, and Treadway winds up at 3rd. Could be a double and an error.
I think that's probably the way they will rule it, because Brooks mishandled it down in the corner. And Bo huffing and puffing all the way around.
Well, we talked about how tough that wall is. You cannot get a normal kick out of it all the time. It's inconsistent. right now it's a triple.
We'll see how they finally rule on it after they've taken a look at the replay.
I guess they felt like that Diaz was going to score, and Treadway may have had the triple all the way. Needless to say, the Reds are on the board and Bo's out of breath.
And it took a long time. 10 innings last night until the 7th tonight.
Jose trying to do a little work here with 2 outs. Tonight's paid attendance. Marty will tell you right now is the attendance. 22-184. See, you was close. You were close.
22-184.
2 strikes to Rio. Treadway on third with an RBI. That's his 20th RBI of the year. There's a ground ball to Rivera. The error hurts the Expos, and the Reds are on the board. It's 1-0, bottom of the 7th. It's the bottom of the 7th and a big one on the board. 1-0 and 1 hit and 1 error. That's all the Expos have.
They're ruling a triple for Treadway and the RBI, his 19th of the year.
Okay, he leads the team in triples. That was his 3rd.
Houston's leading Philadelphia 4-2. Houston batting in the top of the 5th at Philadelphia.
JT. Tim Raines 1 for 2. 279 is average. Expo fans starting to clap and thunder, and they're trying to get a base hit. That's what Raines gives them. It'll be played off the wall by Cal Daniels, and it'll be double number 12 for Tim Raines. Second hit of the night
is 2 for 3, yeah. And Raines has both of the hits. Got the infield single in the first, the double here, and you'll watch him as he stays back, battles that pitch down the left side. The ricochet went beyond Daniels, but it wouldn't have made any difference. It's a double all the way for Raines.
Oh, and you can see that Cal had to make sure about that carom. Came off funny. Galarraga trying to go the other way. Fouls it off. Raines has 24 stolen bases this year. Galarraga can go the other way with power and, of course, with average. The average stands at 335. Ooh, bounced in the dirt. A good play by Bo and a quick turnaround to act like it got away from him, but play right in front of Tim, and he wasn't fooled. Good reaction. Watch this play.
Well, that's a wonderful stop, isn't it? Bo trying to deke Raines. It didn't work.
Ball and strike. Line drive right at Larkin. Quick throw to third. It hits Raines. He'll score.
Well, it was a good idea. It'll be an error on Larkin.
Anybody but Raines, and he wouldn't have had a chance of going to third. Good pickup by Barry Larkin. He calls time and wants to talk to Eric Gregg. Look at Raines looking back behind him. I think he wants to say he was running out of the baseline, and of course he's running right at the bag, but he's running right at the glove. Sabo actually gave a direction for the ball, and you could see Raines watching the glove, and when he did, he just swung out wide, got the ball to hit him, deflect into the dugout, and on the play, Galarraga gets to go to second.
Very good base running by Galarraga.
No,
No,
it was automatic.
Well,
Ball goes in the dugout. He's getting that
that's
extra
right. It
base.
did go in the dugout here. That's right. I didn't realize that it went all the way through.
Yeah, once he gets on that turf,
line,
it doesn't
goes
have
across
any
that
choice.
line. Yeah.
He'll be 0 for 2. And it's popped out of play. We'll show you the lines in front of the dugout just for your information. Anytime a ball crosses that white line, since there's no fence in front of it, they will have to use that. Both dugouts have those lines cutting across in front of them. Here's a ball grounded towards the right side. Brooks does his job, and Calaraga moves to third to scoring position. We'll get one of our cameramen there. You can't see it from that angle, but the lines are white lines. All of it is painted for the dugout.
Across the line, it is automatically another base. There they are.
There
See
they
that
are.
white line?
Anytime a ball rolls in there, the ball is dead. A fielder can go in there to catch a pop-up. It's just miss it. Infield in. Foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wallach go for 2. On deck, Tom Foley is Rio trying to work out of this jam. Wallach 123 RBIs last year. Just now starting to hit the ball like he did. It looks like he's backed away from the plate. Ground ball into right field, base hit. Expos lead it 2-1.
The infield drawn in, and Wallach goes down and gets a low pitch outside and gets it through first and second. Calaraga scoring. Expos lead it. Rob Murphy, and that's Dibble with him. Rob Dibble, the Rob's out there.
Well, they pitched out. Thought the Expos might be doing something. And the running end of it for Wallach. He has stolen 1 base in 3 attempts. Foley handles the bat well. Don't be surprised to see Buck Rogers put him in motion, although Wallach very short at first. Wallach not moving at all, and Foley trying to make it a 4-2, 4-1 ball game. Jeff Parrott works in the bullpen for the Montreal Expos. He was in last night's ball game and was the winning pitcher. On his 10th ball game of the year last year. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the foul. The wave starts here at Olympic and ends at the bleachers. Crowd meter is picked up out in right center field as the Expos and the Reds both score here in the 7th inning. A fastball, and Foley got a piece of it.
There's the meter. It's a neon machine that goes higher and higher as the decibels go higher.
See him light up that baseball. Well, after both teams very quiet through the first 6 innings, seemed like a heck of a lot going on just with the 3 runs scored from what we've seen to this point. There goes Wallach on a delayed steal, and he is out. He almost caught Bo by surprise, and had he had a head-first slide, he would have been safe. He's saying he was. Rio and the Reds trail 2-1 going to the 8th. We're in the 8th inning here at Montreal, and Jeff Parrott has come on in relief of John Dobson. Dobson goes 7 innings, gives up 5 hits, walks 1. He strikes out 6, allowed 1 run, and it was unearned. Jeff Parrott, the winning pitcher last night, pitched 2 innings, faced 6 men, and retired all 6. Look at that microscopic ERA. 6 saves. He doesn't have to save many. He just wins them. And, of course, this ball club very good at winning ball games, and especially in late innings. That was their 13th win last night. They are 16-12 in 1-run decisions.
Couple of scores, Johnny. San Diego and L.A. or San Diego and St. Louis. They're in the 3rd inning at St. Louis. Cardinals have the longest losing streak in the majors right now, 7. They're scoreless going into the 3rd. San Francisco and Pittsburgh tied up 5-5 in the 4th inning.
Well, the Cardinals have really fallen out of contention, and we're losing to 23 out of 29. You would have thought that the Cardinals were playing so well. And of course, Horner got hurt. They've had pitching problems all year long. They're 6-23 in the last 29 ball games. Parrott starts off with the off-speed pitch. It's down and away. Larkin popped out against Parrott last night. Some action in the bullpen for the Montreal Expos. Left-hander, right-hander. Tim Burke works, and Joe Hesketh. Ooh, that's a good breaking ball.
Houston's leading Philadelphia 4-2. They're in the 5th inning. And New York at Atlanta. It's Atlanta 3-1. They're in the 6th.
Daniels on deck, and he'll be followed by Sabo here in the 8th inning. Reds 1 run on 5 hits and an error. Last night, a ball got away from Jeff Reed. Tonight, it was a throw by Barry Larkin. Ground ball for Rivera. He'll have to hurry, and he won't make the play.
There again is that scoop that he likes to use, and that's his 3rd error in 2 games.
How about a base hit?
All right.
Base hit for Barry Larkin. That's his first of the night. 1 for 3. Tried to run around it. Sometimes just a little too smooth. This turf will make you that way. Cessna right over to Tim Wallach. And for Rivera, that's his 16th error of the year.
Did they call it an error?
No. That would have been. Obviously.
Oh, would have been. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought it should have been, but that's why I was saying.
He has 15 on the year. Let's just straighten that out. Galarraga has 10 errors. That's kind of surprising. Daniels base hit his last time up. Finally figured out Dobson. Will die back. Parrott will keep him close as Barry with 26 stolen bases. He got that one in the 1st inning.
Yankees shutting out the White Sox 5-0, 6 innings.
The Expos have pitched out on several occasions. Parrott falls behind in the count with the ball outside. Daniel looking down for signs.
Minnesota's leading Baltimore 4-1. They're in the 4th. Boston 4-1 over Kansas City, the 2nd game of the doubleheader. They're in the 4th.
Reynolds has hit a home run just now. He's 13th, and it's 3-2 Atlanta in the 6th inning. Parrott misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Milwaukee's got an early 1-0 lead over Texas after 2.5 innings.
Parrott's pitched 64 in the 3rd innings. Only allowed 42 hits, 42 appearances.
I mentioned last night he's living now in Lexington, Kentucky.
All 3. I know this is going to concern Buck Rogers a little bit. This ball club is on the 9-game winning streak.
You got the green light here?
I don't think so. I would give it to him, but I don't think so. And Daniels walks. It's hard to say you'd give it to him, though, unless he's swinging the bat well. and you've got the heart of your order coming up behind you, and you trail by 1 run. Of course, the type of hitter that Daniels is, he's not going to put himself in too much of a hole. With a good eye. Take yourself out of an inning. A 3-1 pitch would be just as tough as that 3-0 pitch to lay off of. Sabo extended his hitting streak. He's going to lay it down, and it is a good bunt. Galarraga fields quickly, throws to Foley, and the Reds have runners at second and third. Excellent sacrifice.
As good as you can do it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
This fella is the consummate professional. Sabo, that bat in excellent position.
Boy, he just caught it. That's exactly the way you do it. It's just like catching with a glove. You catch it with a bat. Give a little bit.
Sacrifice going 3-4.
Receiving a little congratulations to Sasky, Perez, Concepcion, Armstrong, and Rio. There's Lloyd down there at the end, along with our trainers, as Santovina moves out to talk to Jeff Parrott. See how Buck decides to play his defense. I would think that he's going to play him back because of the fact he can't give up a base hit that would score 2 runs. These are not the best throwing outfielders in the league. Gibby Brooks with a decent arm. Rains a quick release, and the fastball fouled off by Paul O'Neill. And Nixon I have not seen throw. Two to 1. Expos going ahead in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Parrott trying to stop the Reds right here, and he misses with the off-speed pitch. Santovina blocks. Daniels at second, Larkin at third. They'll play Galarraga in even with the bag. Wallach a step or 2 behind the bag, but he more than likely would go home on a ground ball to him. Parrott misses downstairs, and he's a surveyor right now. I'd like to see a pitcher, we call them surveyors, when they start peering in at every pitch, wanting every pitch. Flinched a little bit there, like he was going to start up. That's close to a ball. Fastball hit hard to Galarraga. He's going to go home. He's out.
A dandy play by Galarraga. Brings this crowd to their feet. The big cat was quick as a cat as he made the play.
And a good block by Santovina.
But take a look at it.
Really blocking home plate.
Ball is hard hit. Galarraga does an excellent job of coming up with it, going to his right. Didn't he get up quickly and make the throw? And Santovina blocking, as you mentioned, John, doing just what he had to do.
That's textbook right there. You see where Santovina's foot is, out in front of the plate. That's where he stops Larkin. He's still got it blocked, and finally releases it and looks up to see where Paul O'Neill is. Could be the Golden Glover at first base, and a good job by the young catcher who's really helped turn this ball club around. And 32 starts, as Jay mentioned, they've won 21 of them. He's going to step towards third, and you can bet right now they're not going to be running Paul O'Neill. Eric faced Parrott last night, and they almost hit him. Eric checked his swing, and the ball went right to Galarraga at first base.
Parrott played at the University of Kentucky.
Go over to first. Pirates have gone ahead of San Francisco 7-5 on a 2-run home run by Bobby Bonilla, his 18th of the year.
Pittsburgh club is hanging tough, aren't they?
Sure are. Hit hard into right field. It's deep. It's way back. It's gone. Home run. Number 15. RBI 46 and 47 for Eric Davis. Make that 47-48 because Cal Daniels scored right in front along with O'Neill and a forearm mash. for Eric Davis. And Eric, this bud's for you. The Reds lead it 4-2.
This bud is for you, Eric. That is home run number 15 on the year, and by golly, he really tattooed this one. Let's look at it. Stayed back and got it on the big end of the bat and boomed it out over the Giants sign out there. There it goes. What a shot.
All right. I told you O'Neill wouldn't be doing it, and thank you, Jose Rio said. All right. Nick checks his swing. He's down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The fastball misses, 1-2.
Reds now have out hit the Expos 7-3.
Now I've outscored them up to this point, 4-2, and be up to Jose to go back out there and shut the Expos down. Off-speed pitch, foul at the plate. 2-2. Nick on the evening is 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. And a ground out. Barrett misses inside. You know, I'm kind of wondering, obviously, Buck knows his pitching staff, and he's not had a lot of good results with Burke, but Parrott coming back in back-to-back nights like this, and it'll be ball 4, and Jim Quick says no swing, and second walk in the inning by Parrott.
Parrott has been their bread and butter guy. We were talking about that last night, Johnny, and taking a look at his card.
Well, Burke has 6 saves. He and Parrott are tied in that category. Burke is 3.92 ERA. Here's a single into right field by Bo, and that is the first hit of the night for the catcher. He was on board via an error and scored the Reds' run in the 7th inning. And I tell you what, they're unhappy fans right now. They're booing a little bit, and Burke has won 10 ball games and saved 6. This is a tough crowd. Jeff Treadway will probably not face Jeff Parrott. Maybe I said Burke, but I certainly meant Parrott, whose night not nearly like last night when he pitched the 9th and 10th innings. Will Buck go to the left-hander? He has Hesketh warming up in the bullpen along with Burke. And will Pete counter with Concepcion. Takes the ball from Hesketh, and indeed the change is made. We will give you the combatants as we come back. It's Hesketh coming in. We'll go out. The Reds lead it 4-2 on the 3-run homer by Eric Davis. The score 4-2, top of the 8th inning. Eric Davis 3-run home run. Eddie Milner in the middle, and Hearn Winningham, newest Red. Talking it over, and probably talking a little bit about Joe Hesketh and the fact that Dave Concepcion will face the left-hander with a record of 1-1, 3.15 ERA. This is his 30th appearance. He has 4 saves. Hesketh out of Lackawanna, New York. Lives now in Palm Harbor, Florida. 6'2", 170-pounder.
And Concepcion coming out.
A couple of shots. He was 10-5 in Montreal in 1985. I believe it was Hesketh who ran into or got run into at home plate by Mike Socia. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Hesketh, the left-hander who was a starting pitcher for 1985. He suffered a non-displaced fracture of the left shin against the Dodgers at Olympic Stadium on August 23rd following a home plate collision with Mike Socia. He tried to score, and you just don't run over Mike Socia. He had a 10-5 record at that time when he was injured, and now has been put into the bullpen, and they're very pleased. You talked about the quality starts that the Expos have been getting. Hesketh has a couple of people to worry about. Bo Diaz at first base. And down at second base, Nikosaski.
Concepcion, the pinch hitter for Treadway. Dave batting 199.
Bingo. Hit right here. Get things turned around for Davey and put a little more insurance on the board for Jose Rio. Jose does not have a complete game in his 7 starts. This is his 38th appearance on the mound. And he's trying to go the route. This off speeds him, and it's 2-0. Maybe 6 RBIs on the year. 151 at bats and 30 hits. 7 doubles, no triples, no home runs for the 40-year-old captain. Gets a strike at the knees, and it's 2-1.
Willie McGee has scored Vince Coleman. And St. Louis goes ahead of San Diego 1-0. They're in the bottom of the 3rd, trying to stop that 7-game losing streak.
McKeon has really turned those Padres around. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Heskett working, and ball fouled at the plate. 2-2. Inning started with Barry Larkin singling. Cal Daniels walked. Perfect sacrifice by Chris Sabo. Fielder's choice. O'Neill hit the ball hard. Galarraga dove, came up with it, got Larkin at the plate. And boy, it looked like that was going to be it for the Reds, except Davis still had a chance to swing. A deep drive into right center field. Out of this ballpark, number 15. The Reds 3-run inning. Putting ahead 4-2. Breaking ball down and in, and with the count 3-2, the runners will be off. And a double would score Bo for sure. Bo has already scored on that triple by Treadway. And huffing and puffing around here, and Burke ready in the bullpen as Collins has come out to the on-deck circle. This may be a John Franco night. The O boys, Franco and Rio. Warming in the bullpen. Strike 3. Got him on a pitch down and away, and the inning over for the Reds. But it's a good one. A big 3-run homer on 3 hits. The Reds come up with a 4-2 lead.
Reds back in the lead 4-2, and Conn's baseball card day coming Sunday, August 14th. The Reds and the Braves, 2:15. Due to the popularity of this special Conn's giveaway, a free set of Reds trading cards will be given away to everyone in attendance at Riverfront. Each set features great action shots, stats, and valuable coupons. Sunday the 14th, Reds and Braves baseball card day, thanks to Conn's. Johnny, some changes out there. Concepcion stays in and plays second. And as you surmised, it's Franco to the hill.
Oh, boys. John Franco, 14 saves on the year. He's finished 29 ball games. This is his 37th appearance, a 2-5 record, 1.74 ERA. Line on Rio, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. Good effort. Of course, the error. Does that force him at third? Are you giving him the credit for stopping him at third?
I'm only saying one of the runs was earned, but
we'll see.
That's because that scorecard of mine has an ER there and it's printed there.
Oh, you don't have runs and earned runs. I see. Okay. I'll go for that. Walked 15 and struck out 22. Laying off that off-speed pitch. Trying to get him to bring it up in the strike zone. John has pitched very effectively of late. Still has a chance to get 30 saves. He thought at the start of the year he might get 40. Now he's readjusted, and he's got to go for 30. And Santavina, who's not seen much of Franco, swings and misses. Franco will bat ninth. Run. Jeff Reed moves behind the plate. That makes a lot of sense. That's what I was wondering. I'm trying to find out how we could do this. And it's quite a job for Reed. He's not seen Franco either. So Franco will bat in the 7th spot. Ground ball. Oh, look at me. Made it look easy, didn't he? Get a close-up of John. Let's watch him right here. He's all business. He won't show much reaction to it. Now he's trying to get a little. So that was kind of smooth, wasn't it? We got a chance to look at that one. That's pretty good. Out 1-3. Shot at that play after Luis Rivera checks in. He swings at that down and away pitch. Take a look as the ball gets away from Franco for just a second. Jay,
Shot.
how smooth is it?
This is smooth. Nothing to it. He made it look easy.
He certainly did.
It's
Yeah,
not.
well, he'll have a little grin for us after we talk to him tomorrow. Tracy Jones moves out on deck for the Expos. He will bat for Hesketh. Franco misses and the count even at 1.
There's the new Expo, former Red.
The Tracer. Well, Tracy's going to be a little disappointed by the fact about his playing time here, possibly. I think he can play center field. I'm not sure the knee is sound enough to play center right now. And of course, they've traded for Dave Martinez. Martinez and Nixon, and sounds like a full house in the outfield. Looking for an off-speed pitch. That sinker down and away, and Reed comes up with it, and a strikeout for Franco. Tracy Jones will hit for Montreal. He faced the Reds last night in his first appearance as an Expo, and broke his bat.
And grounded out. 1-3.
And Danny was going to give him a little guff about he didn't want to face him. He was scared of him. Of course, Tracy's not scared of too many things. Just announced his engagement. I met Debbie at the airport. Ball away. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. The Reds lead it 4-2. Trying to even the season series at 3 and this 4-game series at a game apiece. We'll be back on the air tomorrow night. Tom Browning do the pitching for the Reds. Who's pitching for the Expos, right?
They are
Dennis
going
Martinez.
Martinez, and then it'll be Armstrong and Holman on Sunday.
Well, this is going to hurt gold sales. And I don't know if we'll get this one off. This is the one he has problems with. I don't know if he got a new clasp on this one or not.
Well, while he works on his chains, Boston won the first game of the doubleheader 3-1 over Kansas City, leading 4-1, top of the 5th and the 2nd. Yankees lead Chicago 5-3, bottom of the 7th. Minnesota 4-1, bottom of the 5th over Baltimore. Milwaukee won Texas 0, top of the 5th. LA over Chicago 3-2 in 10 this afternoon. Houston 4-2 over Philadelphia, top of the 7th. Pittsburgh 7, San Francisco 5, bottom of the 6th. Atlanta 3, New York 2, bottom of the 7th. St. Louis 1, San Diego 0, bottom of the 4th.
Ball in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. I guess you could call Helms our goal coach. Was out to collect it. Tracy thought about bunting. One thing you want to do now is you got a challenge. Because the lead is by 2, and you want to go right after the hitter. Tracy still has a little problem with that left knee. He doesn't have the full extension. He's talking to trainer for the Montreal Expos, and he was saying that it's not completely at 100%. Ronnie was trying to fill me in. swing and a miss. Ron McLean, who worked for the Reds for a while, had a race at one time. They always have a race here between Larry Starr and Ronnie. Now he's put on about 20 pounds. He's not ready for that. Full count. Franco trying to hold it for Rio. Step out. Change up. No, he's going to go with the fastball. He's going to challenge. You got to go over the plate with it. He missed downstairs. Just a little too fine with that one. And Otis Nixon, who's 0 for 3 on the night, all ground balls in the infield. Short and second twice. John missing wide and high. Reds lost the game last night. Next innings 1-0. This game scoreless until the 7th. Foul ball 1-1. Reds scored the 1 run in the 7th after Wallach erred on Diaz's ground ball. Treadway hit a triple. Expos answered with 2 in the 7th. Double by Raines. He was going to third. On a ground ball by Galarraga. He's hitting the back. Ball went in the dugout and he scored. Throw over to first base. Jones back. And then Galarraga came around to score after he was second on the error. He went to second on the error. The ground ball by Brooks got him to third, and the single by Wallach scored him. Swung had a miss. Good ball on the dirt and a good stop by Reed. Reed wears glasses, and I'm not sure he has contacts. He gets batted on the back by John Kibler. Not for being just a good play. It's for stopping it so it doesn't hit the umpire. Umpires like it when catchers make good plays like that so they don't catch one off the inside of the ankle.
Don't blame them a bit.
Ed Sudol, of course, who umpired so long in the National League. We used to have bets how many times he would get hit in the game. I mean, it would average 3 at least. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, strike 3. Reed makes the play, tags him, and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Franco. Reds are out of it. We're going to the 9th, 4-2 on the Red side. The Reds lead it, and Eric Davis' big 3-run homer. The difference in this ball game for the Expos, it'll be Tim Burke coming in relief. Burke born and lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Record of 2-2 with 6 saves. Last year, though, he was outstanding. 7-0 with a 1.19 ERA in 55 games with 18 saves. And this year, a 3.92 ERA. Burke spent his first 2 minor league seasons in the Pirates change. He was traded to the Yankees in the '83 and went 12-4. Traded the Expos back in 1984. He was with Buck Rogers there. And he now comes in to face Jeff Reed. Reed batting 9th in the lineup.
Reed was in the game last night behind the dish, but did not get a time at bat.
Well, you see his stats while playing in Montreal, 220. He was sent out to Indianapolis. Burke misses upstairs. And it's always quite a feeling to go in and face their opponent, I suppose. Never had to do that much except for certain pitchers who were traded away. This pitch over. Burke's biggest problem has been his slider. He has not had that effective, hard-breaking slider that he's had in the past.
Reed was born in Joliet, Illinois, lives down in Tennessee. Hit .213 here with the big club last year. 176 at Indianapolis. Bats left, throws right, 6'2", 190.
Two balls and a strike to Jeff. started his pro career in 1980 at Elizabethtown. Line drive left field. There's Raines, though. He hit it hard. And Raines makes the play, and there's one out here in the top of the ninth. 4 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Reds. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error committed by Montreal. Jeff has 2 years and 77 days in the major leagues coming into this season. Traded over to Minnesota. Jeff Reardon trade. Barry Larkin. 1 for 3. A walk and a single in the 8th inning. He was out at home plate on an outstanding play by Andres Galarraga to Nelson Santavina. And Santavina did a textbook play on blocking home plate. Foul at the plate, and Burke hit 0-2. Reds at it tomorrow night. We'll be with you.
In that second game between Boston and Kansas City, a 2-run homer by Rick Cerrone scored Jim Rice. It's Boston 6, Kansas City 1.
Joe Morgan trying to win a doubleheader on his first game as a manager. Here's a line drive base hit right back over the middle, and Burke hung that slider, looked like, and he wasn't happy. He looked straight at Santavina instead of hung it, didn't I? So, 2-hit night for Barry. He stole his 26th base in the first inning. And could be off to the races again. As Cal Daniels steps in. Cal 1 for 3. Struck out twice, singled, and walked. .35 game time tomorrow night, and the pitch out, and the Reds must know something.
It's Browning and Martinez tomorrow night. Hope you can join us along the Reds television network.
Martinez likes to use a lot of rosin and pine tar on his fingers. Jeff Reed might tell some of the hitters about that. See Dennis, the former Baltimore Oriole, had such great years, and they're going to pitch out again.
You were under the impression last night that maybe Perez was working with a little pine tar out there.
Well, it certainly helps a pitcher's grip. Jim Maloney used to use that quite a bit. And Gary Nolan, you know, that good curveball. If you rely on the curveball a lot, it certainly gives you a better feel, better control on the seams. It doesn't get away from you. Burke now really digging a hole as he misses down on the way to Daniels, 3-0, and Cal looking down to Bruce Kim saying, "Turn me loose." He does, and it's a line drive base hit center field. Larkin will round second. He will go to third, and Otis Nixon, I think, is somewhat surprised.
Nixon just looked at him and couldn't seem to throw the ball, did he?
He said he's going to stop. I know he's going to stop. And Lark didn't even hesitate.
Nixon sure got over there quickly to cut that ball off. Watch it. Daniels striding through, hits it into right center. And look at Nixon come over quickly. And he looks and he can't believe Larkin has gone to third, and he throws into second.
Well, that's just a real few kids. Always expect them to go to third. If you throw it to third, you haven't lost anything. You're not going to throw him out at second. Just cut him off. Daniels at first. Fly ball left field. Will Lark try it? I think so. There he comes. Not the best arm by Raines, and a head first slide, and I guess he's not worried about Santavina's shin guards. They're going to throw back to third. Eric Gregg says no, and the Reds up by 5-2 on the sacrifice fly. RBI number 36 for Sabo, and that's his second sacrifice in 2 innings.
Raines, good position and a good throw. And a head first slide as he came in there.
Daniels moves to second, and the Reds 5-2, and as Daniels moves down to second, the fans start to move out of here. Catch that subway. O'Neill. Ball has a hit and 4 at bats. And got picked by Galarraga. Burke misses outside. Nobody in the bullpen for Montreal.
Reds
2 outs here.
Reds now with 10 hits, Johnny. The Expos with just 3.
Last night the Expos had 4. And 5, I guess. That last hit a triple. So the Reds pitching has been excellent. They've held the Expos to only 8 hits in 18 innings. Can O'Neill make it 6-2 with a base hit? He looks at the ball down, and it's 2-1. Sabo singled earlier in the 4th inning. That extended his hitting streak to 10. And he sacrificed runners in position in the 8th, and now gets a sacrifice fly in the 9th. Trying to win their 8th game in the month of July. Ball downstairs. Reds were 11-11 in April, 12-16 in May, 12-15 in June. And hoping that they can have a winning month of July, August, and September. They're going to need it, and they're going to need it by a wide margin, because the Chicago Cubs won this afternoon. Ground ball up the middle. Here comes Daniels. He'll score. There won't even be a throw by Nixon, and the Reds lead it 6-2. And that'll really get them out of here. 3 hits in the inning, all to center field off of Burke.
O'Neill's 36th RBI of the year.
Well, you look down the lineup for the Reds. Larkin with 36 RBIs. Daniels with 39. Sabo with 36. O'Neill with 36. And Eric was 48. Nick Osaski with 38.
They've been doing some pretty good business, although things have been a little tough up until these last couple of innings.
Yeah, you can see the look on Buck Rogers' face. He's very puzzled at the problems that Tim Burke is having. 2 for 4 and trying to get up to that 250 mark. Breaking ball, this time over the middle of the plate, and it's 1-1. Six to 2 on 11 hits. Oh, he hung it again, and Eric didn't get it. Boston leading Kansas City 6-1 now, Jay, and the Mets have tied it up. Down in Atlanta, and there.
Bruce Sutter's come on for Atlanta.
Bottom of the 8th. How about Billy Shearer pitching for Philadelphia? Foul back. 7-5. The Pirates lead San Francisco in the 7th. White Sox trying to close the gap on New York. They did a little bit last night. It's 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th down at the stadium. Ball downstairs. St. Louis getting a good job tonight. Pitching performance. Got John Tudor against Dennis Rasmussen. And it's 1-0 in the 6th inning. Rasmussen is not lost while pitching in San Diego. Strike 3. Burke gets him, and the Reds go down, but they come up with a couple of runs on 3 hits and take a 6-2 lead for Franco and Rio into the 9th.
Guests appearing on the Cincinnati Reds telecast will receive a gift from Lazarus or a gift from Hellbros, the tradition in time. See Hellbros Quartz watches at leading stores and catalog showrooms.
6-2. The Reds have the advantage. They've out-hit the Expos 11-3. We remind you about Friday, August 5th. The Reds will kick off a homestand with the Padres at 7:35. Great special date for the young fans. The Biggs drinking mug. First 15,000 fans in attendance, 16 and under, receive the free Reds drinking mug. It's a red and white mug, great for either hot or cold beverages. So remember, that's Friday, August the 5th. The Reds and the Padres drinking mug day. Me too.
I'll tell you, Don Breen and Cal Levy, they don't hold anything back for us.
Just one little
Well, I
gift
told them
once
I'd
in a
talk
while.
bad about them if they didn't come up with some goods.
I think Breen owes me a lunch.
Tim Raines will lead off for the Expos. Swings at the first pitch by Franco and misses. Raines 1 2 for 3 tonight. Got 2 of the 3 hits. The other hit belongs to Tim Wallach, who singled into right field to drive in a run. Raines has scored a run. It's an excellent base runner. Waves at a screwball. And John ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Make sure you're with us tomorrow night. And, of course, buy tickets for next week. It's the Mets Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then the Montreal Expos come in for 4 games. Imagine having to face each other 8 times in 11 days.
Some interesting schedule.
Oh, it really is. Yeah, it's a wonderful schedule. That's like Danny Jackson facing Kevin Gross in Philadelphia. Of course, he mastered Philadelphia 4 times this year, and get those same pitchers back to back, especially from the same rotation. Raines was fooled by it. He won't argue too much. It's a strikeout for Franco, and that's the 3rd for Franco, and just an inning and a 3rd. Andres Galarraga, 0 for 3. Made a good play with the glove. Swings and fouls at the plate. So 14 saves on the year. Trying to make it 15. Galarraga trying to extend this. Galarraga's been the player of the month April, May, and June. And having a heck of a July. Chance to break the Expo record for home runs, 32. Andre Dawson holds that mark. Missed away, and it's 2-1. Fastball, and it's fouled out of play. 22,000 on hand tonight, plus, and a lot of them have headed to the subway and to their cars. Reds have averaged a little over 27,000 on the road this year. There's a fly ball center field. It's way back. Back goes Davis. It's gone. Home run number 21 for the Big Cat. RBI 56. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Galarraga. He takes it out of here, Jay.
And he took it out of here to the deepest point in this ballpark. Davis getting back there, makes a great effort, right up against the wall. And you see it just go over the wall as Davis racks into that padded area out there. The wall has some give in it, as you can see. And Galarraga.
What is that, a 12-foot wall, Jay? I believe it is.
I think it is 12. Let's double check, but I believe it's
on
a 12.
the green book. Yeah. Read out for a quick talk with Franco as he bounces one in the dirt and puts himself behind 2-0 to Hubie. Brooks struck out and grounded out and grounded out.
It is 12 feet. 12 feet, height of the walls all the way around.
Here's another deep drive. reached the warning track. Not the same power as Galarraga. Got it in on him just a little bit, and there's 2 outs. And 1 out away from giving Jose Rio his 10th win of this 1988 season and a career high win. John not very happy right now with his location. Not getting the ball down, but he did get the ball down to Galarraga. Galarraga hit a good pitch, and of course leading the league in hits, and got a chance for the Triple Crown if he can get those RBIs going. It's a long way to catch Will Clark. Galarraga is 1 point behind Gerald Perry going into the night in batting. He's 1 run behind Barry Bonds, but Bonds hit a home run earlier. He's 4 doubles behind Sabo. He leads the league in extra base hits. Wallach looks away, and it's 2-0. He's now tied with Strawberry for the league lead in home runs. He leads the league in hits with 120. On base percentage, he doesn't walk a lot. He strikes out a lot. Daniels leads the league in on base percentage, 417.
Well, that stat you gave earlier about when he makes contact. Oh boy.
Well, Wally draws a walk, and now looks like they may have a pinch hitter. Rex Hudler will hit for Tom Foley.
Hudler last night was 0 for 4.
Hudler, but he scored the winning run today. As he struck out, he did a 360, knew the ball was in the dirt, saw that it got away from Reed, and hustled to get to first base and hustled around to score. He had actually stopped at second base to see if Eric was going to make the play in center field, but he scored standing up. Good speed. Youngster who spent 9 years in the minor leagues now gets a chance. He platoons with Foley at second base. He looks at a pitch down and away. 6-3. Home run by Galarraga, only the 4th hit of the evening. That's a strike. Galarraga leads the league in multi-hit games along with McGee with 37. Sabo about 6th in the league with 29. Game-winning RBIs. Galarraga is not in the top 6. Eric Davis has 10, and Hubie Brooks. This should do it. Pop up in the infield. Davies going to call off Nick Osaski, and John Franco has recorded his 15th save, and Jose Rio wins.